So welcome everybody to our second Learning Coach support session. The topic tonight is encouraging and enhancing scholar success. My name is Lindsay Chalco-Paz, and I am the Scholar Success Coordinator for the Options Program at Compass. I really appreciate everybody taking the time out of their night to join us, and I hope you'll find some useful information that you can use in your homeschooling journey with your scholars. So very quickly, I want to just make sure we review the mission and vision statement of Compass Charter Schools. You can see it there on the screen, but just to recap, our mission is to inspire and develop innovative, creative, self-directed learners one scholar at a time. And our vision at Compass Charter Schools is to create a collaborative virtual learning community inspiring scholars to appreciate the ways in which arts and sciences nurture a curiosity for lifelong learning and prepare scholars to take responsibility for their future success. All right, let's go over our agenda for tonight. Like I said, the topic is how do we encourage and enhance scholar success. So we're going to talk for a little bit about the different online tools for instruction. Specifically, what are they and how can they help your homeschooler? We'll talk about our math and ELA tutoring sessions. We'll spend some time talking about our virtual academic classes and our writer's workshop. And then we'll take a look at social and emotional learning and how Compass can support that. And then we'll have some time at the end for discussion and questions. Okay. So let's take a look at this quote by Brené Brown. "We don't have to do it all alone. We were never meant to." I really love this quote from Brené Brown because I feel like it really embodies what a personalized learning experience is all about at Compass Charter Schools. One of the most amazing parts of being with a public charter school for your homeschool journey is that you're able to take advantage of kind of the best of both worlds. At Compass, you all as learning coaches are doing a really amazing job at providing that individualized, student-centered instruction that meets the needs of all of your scholars. And then you have your EF, your educational facilitator, and they're able to use their expertise and their educational background to kind of help cater to your instruction and make sure that the needs of your scholar is met. Make sure you're meeting those learning styles and academic goals, and they can help you troubleshoot and make adjustments when that's needed. And then Compass as a school is here to partner with you and help provide those extra layers of support to really hone in on both strengths and weaknesses and find ways to supplement instruction to ensure that there are really significant academic gains. So my goal for this session is to just give you an idea of what the supports are that we as a school offer and how they can help when you stumble in your in your homeschooling journey. When you find that what you're doing at home maybe isn't working, or you want to try a different way, or you just want to help your scholar succeed and reach their maximum potential, that's where we come in and we offer these extra supports. So that's why I'm here tonight, to make sure you have an understanding of what those are and how they can benefit you. So first, let's talk about some of our online tools for instruction. The first one I want to take a look at is iStation, and that's for our scholars that are in grades TK, kindergarten, but also TK through 5. A lot of you are really familiar with iStation. You might have already taken the diagnostic assessment at the beginning of the school year. And I really do feel like this is a fantastic resource that Compass provides. What we use iStation for, it really has 3 purposes. In the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year, your scholar will take an academic diagnostic assessment, and it'll help determine their reading and math level. The assessment is adaptive, so it will adjust in length and difficulty in real time based on how the scholar is answering the question, so based on their performance. The program then uses that assessment data to generate an individualized learning path for reading and math instruction. The scholars will be assessed at the beginning of each month as they log in to use that individualized learning path, and then the path can adjust from there. And then the teachers and learning coaches can take the data from that diagnostic assessment and use it to inform decisions about curriculum, about different interventions that might be helpful. We can target deficits in skill and provide really focused supports in those identified areas. And as a Compass mom, because I do have a scholar with Compass, I will admit that the very first time my daughter took the diagnostic assessment, I found some components of it frustrating as I watched her kind of struggle through it. But then once she began completing the lessons in her specific individualized learning path, I saw the justification for how they framed and formatted the assessment and how it helped to really hone in on what she needed and help her to succeed in those areas where she had some weaknesses. The learning path that the scholars placed on provides individualized instruction, and it targets those really specific gaps in knowledge, and it gives the scholars that extra instruction needed to target the gaps. The program is really vibrant, it's interactive, and many scholars really enjoy it. They think of it as more of like a game than a reading program. Scholars, like I mentioned, they are assessed the first time they log in every month, and that information is used so that they don't stay stagnant. Their learning path is always moving and adjusting as they're progressing through the year. Those monthly assessments that happen, we don't use that data for any type of reporting purposes. It's strictly to adjust the learning path within the program. And then there are tons of different data reports that we can pull as teachers and that you can access as parents to find out what you can be doing to help your scholar more, maybe some things that they really excel at that you might want to enhance in your learning, in your homeschool curriculum. All of that can be found in the data reports provided. So if you haven't had a chance to use iStation for anything other than the diagnostic assessment, I really do recommend you get on there and let your scholar play around, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much they enjoy using it and how beneficial it is for their progress. Another online tool we use is Edgenuity, and that's similar to the purpose of iStation, except for it's for our scholars in middle school and high school, so scholars in grades 6 through 12. Scholars will also take that reading or math placement exam in the beginning, middle, and end of the year to determine what they've mastered and where they're struggling. And then from that placement exam, they're assigned individualized learning paths, and that focus on the concepts that they need extra instruction in. The content on Edgenuity is always age appropriate. It's direct instruction videos, and the practice provides a lot of intervention, remediation, and enrichment. And then from Edgenuity, parents and us as EFs can also pull those dynamic reports on student progress, and we can identify topics where the students need some immediate support. So it's also a fantastic tool that we highly recommend you take advantage of. If we see that scholars are struggling in math and language arts, we probably will recommend spending some time in those programs so that we can target those specific needs. And research shows that continued use of them can really help your scholar advance. And if you're having difficulties logging in or accessing reports, please reach out to your EF. They can help you with that directly. They can either help you access the reports with your login information, make sure you have that correct, or they can send the reports directly to you because they have access to your scholars' reports as well. So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you're not able to see the results or the data from those assessments, because we do think it's really beneficial for you guys as parents to have a look at that. And then some more online tools that we have that can help supplement instruction, can help enrich different areas of your curriculum, or even offer some intervention if needed, is our subscription package, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with and you may already be taking advantage of. As you already know, Compass offers a really robust subscription package, and its purpose is to help enhance curriculum and provide those extra extension for scholars. So this is a complete list of what we're offering this year. They can be used in a lot of different capacities within your homeschool program. You can use it to do research on current topics that you're studying, particularly Tales to Go and Brain Pop are beneficial for that, and Enchanted Learning. You can use it for some of those fluency facts. CTC Math is a great place to go to review math curriculum, if you want to work ahead, if you just want to use it for fluency practice, look at a specific skill in a different light, that's a great resource for that. Vocabulary and Spelling City is a good place to get that spelling practice in. You can upload lists and have your scholar practice. If you're not able to upload lists directly from your login, reach out to your EF, because there's sort of like a switch on their side that they can enable to make sure you can upload your own personal spelling list. So if you have any questions about any of these subscriptions and how you can use them, maybe you haven't signed up for them because you're just not sure how they would fit into your curriculum, reach out to your EF and ask if they recommend it, if they think it's something that your scholar would benefit from. Not every subscription is helpful to every family, but there's something out there for everybody. So do take some time to look into those if you haven't already. The next thing that I wanted to talk about that we're very excited about here at Compass are our math and English language arts tutoring sessions. So those have not begun yet, but they're slated to begin in the month of November. And we're going to start adding weekly tutoring sessions for all of our option scholars that qualify in English language arts and math. Your EF will be inviting scholars to the sessions, and it will be based on a little bit of everything. We look at all different types of data to determine who might benefit from these tutoring sessions. We'll look at that iStation and Edgenuity data. They'll take into account discussions that they've had with you as the learning coach, maybe some concerns that you've shared or things that you've noticed together in those learning samples that are being submitted. They're really looking for scholars that would benefit from a different type of instruction, not that it would not be intended to replace what's happening in the home, but simply to enhance it and to make it accessible to the scholars. So they'll be held at the same time each week, and we will have a schedule that all learning coaches can refer to. Any scholar is always welcome to join those sessions. So if your EF doesn't necessarily see a need for support in math and language arts, but you see a need in the home and it's something that you want to try, you're always welcome to try it and have your scholar attend. We're simply working towards providing that extra instruction to scholars that will benefit from an additional approach or from extended practice. I know for myself, when I first started homeschooling, I really thought it was going to be a walk in the park for me. I'd been a teacher for over 10 years. I'd worked in large classes. I'd worked with small groups. I'd worked specifically with struggling scholars, and I thought I was made to homeschool. But I learned really quickly that homeschooling my own children was not quite what I thought it was going to be like. And we tended to butt heads over really random things. So I started taking advantage of different online classes and tutoring resources. And I realized how helpful that was for my children to have information presented to them in different formats and by people other than myself. And that's really the goal with these tutoring sessions, just like all of our other resources, is we want to work in conjunction with the fantastic teaching that's already happening in the home. We're just finding ways to present information in a different way, and we're providing opportunities for additional practice. So don't be on the lookout for more information from your EF about tutoring. And again, if you feel like it's something that your scholar would benefit from and your EF does not bring it up to you directly, don't be afraid to ask about it and to have that discussion with him or her to see if they think that would be an appropriate resource for you as well. Another thing that we will be, we've already started, but we're going to continue with this year, are virtual academic workshops. So these are going to be offered periodically throughout the year, and they are taught by our educational facilitators, and it's according to the educational facilitators' area of expertise. So we all have different subjects that we might be credentialed in, or that we're used to teaching, different age groups that we really connect with. And we're going to use those resources that we have among our EFs to provide different academic workshops to cover those core content areas for your scholar. It's a great chance for us as EFs to get to interact one-on-one with the kids in a different setting and to provide them with additional strategies and support in the core subject areas. It's also a really great chance for scholars to get to interact with each other and see each other in that virtual format. I know a lot of them maybe they might have done the writer's workshop, which we'll talk about in a minute, or they might be participating in some of our clubs, but they do really enjoy just getting to be in those virtual sessions with the other kids and interacting and learning from each other. Like I mentioned, they're going to provide additional support and enrichment in those core subject areas. So primarily math and language arts, with some science and social studies as well. And those will be communicated to you all via Parent Square, kind of like this support session or our writers' workshops. We'll send out invites in Parent Square, and we will also post them in the MMU so that you are able to attend if that's something that your scholar would benefit from. So we've already started a little bit with those academic workshops with our writers' workshop. So that was started towards the end of October, and it was off. So far, we've offered it towards the end of September, and we've offered it to our scholars in grades 3 through 8. The goal of our writers' workshops is really to guide the scholars through the writing process and provide continuous support and focused mini lessons within the writing process to help build their writing fluency and competency. The first session for scholars grades 3 through 8 was dedicated to personal narrative. We had a lot of scholars attend, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the completed pieces of writing that they turn in. The workshops are primarily designed for scholars, but we do encourage the learning coach to sit there and participate with your scholar so that you can support them in that writing instruction and help them complete whatever assignments come up at home. For scholars in grades 3 through 8, the next session that we'll focus on will be informative, and then after the Christmas break, we'll start with opinion writing. Scholars in high school will be invited to their first session on Writers Workshop beginning in November, and we're going to work through producing an authentic argumentative piece. Then we'll do a workshop on informational and a workshop on narrative. The sessions for all grade levels are online, and so the beauty of that is they are recorded if you're not able to attend in person, or if you want to go back and review, take a look at the assignments. So there will be recordings available, but the assignments are completed within a Google Classroom. So you get sort of the best of both. You'll have those virtual online sessions and then a format to turn in your work and communicate with other scholars and the teacher through the Google Classroom. So that's another resource that we're offering this year. So now I want to focus a little bit on, besides those academic resources that we offer, focus a little bit on something else that Compass really prides itself on, is offering social and emotional learning to all of our scholars and opportunities for you to provide that social and emotional learning and growth in the home. So we really strive to partner with you in providing frequent and meaningful opportunities for social and emotional learning. The definition of social and emotional learning, or SEL, as you'll sometimes hear it referred to, is the process through which children and adults understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. And I found this quote from Casel, which we'll talk more about the foundation of Casel in a little bit and its role in social and emotional learning. But it says, social and emotional learning starts at home. Parents and families are critical partners in helping their children develop social and emotional know-how. They can model the kinds of skills, attitudes, and behaviors we want all students to master. So we recognize that there's a great deal of social and emotional development happening in your scholars at all stages, and you all as parents and learning coaches are navigating that daily. Our goal is to provide resources and activities that enhance that learning. So we want to expand your toolbox so that you can help coach and model those skills and behaviors for scholars at home. So if we'll take a look right here, these are the social and emotional learning core competencies. So these are the areas that social and emotional learning focuses on or tends to focus on: self-management, self-awareness, social awareness, responsible decision-making, and relationship skills. And this really lends itself so well to those skills that you as parents, as well as learning coaches, are constantly reinforcing in the home, like regulating emotions and labeling feelings, considering the well-being of themselves and of others, practicing empathy, and building relationships with diverse individuals and groups. So our goal as a school is to find ways that we can help reinforce that and provide different tips and tricks and opportunities that you can use to tie that social and emotional learning to what's happening in the curriculum. So we have decided to focus on a different social emotional learning skill each month. The month of November, we are focusing on mindfulness and gratitude. Obviously, with Thanksgiving coming up, we felt that gratitude was a great focus for this month, and that lends itself well to mindfulness and being aware. In December, we'll focus on self-care. January will be a time to focus on compassion and empathy. February, we will focus on emotions. And in March, we will focus on responsibility. So the information regarding these different social and emotional topics will come to you, I should say, in the MMU or through communication from your EF. We'll talk about different activities that you can do at home. Some of them are projects. Some of them might be a really quick break from school, and I'll give you an example of one of those in a minute. A break from schoolwork to help refocus. And we are hoping that having a different theme each month and providing you with these activities will help your learning environment and help to support your scholars' social and emotional health. You know what? I was afraid that happened. I don't see the slide for the one that I wanted to share with you, but that's okay because we can do it together. Looks like I didn't upload. So the first one I want to look at is, this is a skill or a different activity you can do to practice mindfulness. As I mentioned, that mindfulness is the focus for the month of November. And practicing mindfulness is incredibly empowering for children. It can help them better manage stress and anxiety when it does occur. Practicing mindfulness helps with self-regulation. It promotes positive emotions and self-compassion. So this activity is called the heartbeat exercise. You can listen or you can participate if you'd like. It's a grounding activity because it allows your child to focus on the sensations in the body. So it's a really great activity to do if your child is feeling really stressed or anxious. I know that a lot of times when our kids are working through something and they just aren't getting it, it's not connecting, they feel frustrated, that's always a good time to kind of take a break and focus on that mindfulness. If they're working on a project, they're feeling stuck, we can gently redirect them by asking them to stop what they're doing and take a break. So then you'd ask your child to stand up and either jump up and down or do jumping jacks for 1 minute, and you can time them. At the end of that minute, have them place their hand on their heart and pay attention to how their heartbeat and their breathing feels. They don't necessarily have to count, but just ask them to kind of pay attention to it. And tuning into the physical body is a really great way to redirect the focus. So your child's going to have this new burst of energy, and your scholar will feel a new motivation to complete the previous task that they were working on before you started the activity. So that's just one example of an activity that your EF might share with you during the month, just little things that you can try. We also really want to encourage scholars to participate and share with the different projects that they've been doing. I found another activity that I'm excited to try with my daughter, and I know that EFs will be sharing out with you. It's making a glitter jar, and there are instructions for how to do it. And then again, when the scholar is feeling stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, they shake up the jar and then they watch everything settle. And it's just a way to calm them, to center their emotions, to help them refocus on the world around them and redirect their attention into their assignments or into whatever's going on in the home. And so we encourage scholars to participate in the different activities that we'll be sharing, again, through the MMU or through your EF. You can upload pictures on Seesaw, to share with your EF, and we really want to highlight that social and emotional learning that is happening in your homes and in connection with your schooling. So some websites that you as parents might find interesting that you might want to take a look at to sort of learn more about social emotional learning and how it can benefit your family. The first one, like I said, there's a million resources out there, and your EFs will share activities and lessons with you to use in the home. But these are kind of some of the more exceptional resources for parents, and if you're looking to do some research on it yourself, this is a great place to start. So the first one is CASEL. That stands for the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. And CASEL actually defined social and emotional learning more than 2 decades ago. So their website is a fountain of knowledge, but the homes and communities page of that website provides a lot of practical resources for parents to use with their scholars. Another one is Confident Parents, Confident Kids. And this is a site specifically for parents who are actively supporting kids' social and emotional development. It has resources, activities, literature, articles, blogs, both for kids and for parents to read. So that's a great resource as well. The next one on there is Edutopia. And this is actually run by the George Lucas Education Foundation, whose mission is to transform education so that all students can acquire and effectively apply the knowledge, attitudes, and skills necessary to thrive in their studies, careers, and adult lives. And they have an entire section dedicated to social and emotional learning. There's videos, resources, different things for the parent and the scholar to look at. And one that's not on here, because it didn't make the cut when I, for some reason, uploaded this PowerPoint, but at biglifejournal.com. I'm going to go ahead and type it in the chat box because it's one of my favorite resources that I looked at during my social emotional learning research. So biglifejournal.com, they actually serve a variety of purposes. Their main purpose is they offer some really fantastic growth mindset journals for kids of all ages. So they have a journal specifically for kids in the elementary grades, the middle school grades, and the high school grades. And the journals are intended to teach skills like perseverance, grit, self-belief, positive thinking. You do have to purchase the journals, so that's kind of a separate thing, but they also have quite a few free resources and activities. The breathing activity that we just completed was something I found on that Big Life Journal website, Big Life Journal website, excuse me. And then the glitter jar. So they have a lot of different resources for parents who are looking for different activities that you can use, that you can incorporate into your routines. So it's definitely worth taking a look at. And those are the resources that I have for you guys today. We're right at the 30-minute mark, so that leaves us some time for question and answer. Again, the goal here was to just give you an understanding of those extra supports that we offer as a school and how you can take advantage of those. Please feel free to ask any questions about anything that we discussed here, or if you have other questions that you really would love to have answered, go ahead and type it in the chat box. Carla, where can I find the writer's workshop recordings, and is it too late to have my girls join? Well, first of all, the recordings, you can find them in lots of different places. I try to put them in as many places as you have eyes. So they are in the MMU. And this week we're finishing up the personal narrative. So we'll make sure that all 3 sessions from the grade levels will be in the MMU. They're also, I post an update to the original Parent Square post. So they're attached to that original Parent Square post. You can get the recordings from there. Or you can always reach out to me or your EF if you can't find them and you'd like a copy of the recording. Don't hesitate to reach out and we can get those to you. And it's not too late to join. Even if you did not participate in the live sessions, you can still go back and complete that personal narrative assignment, watch the videos on your own, and do the personal narrative. And then also, like I mentioned before, we'll have 2 more sessions focusing on different genres. We'll focus on opinion writing and informative. So feel free to join those sessions as well. We would love to have as many scholars as are interested. Any other questions we can answer for you? Anything else that you've been wondering about or that you'd like more information about? Anything from today's session that you would like a little more insight into or that I can explain for you? Feel free to ask. There was a slide in here that didn't quite make it that had some other mindfulness activities that I was going to share. Oh, there's a cute one for younger kids where you can going on a safari. So it just involves taking a nature walk kind of in the middle of your day and observing the things around you. Angie says, I can't get on CTC Math. Angie, have you reached out to your EF to get a username and password to have that created for you, or do you need one of those? Or you do have a username and password and it's not working? Is that the problem? Sometimes we can reset those if it's not working the way it's supposed to. We can look up the password for you, but if you can't get on because you don't have an account, then again, email your EF or email me and I can look into it for you and see what's going on and why you're not able to access it, or if I can create an account for you if you need me to. Because we do want everyone, okay, you have the username and password, but it's not working for you. Is that the issue? If you don't mind, my email is right here on the slide. So email me your scholar's name and the username and password that you've been using, and I'll take a look at it and see what the issue is and why you can't log in. No problem. Yeah, I'll take a look at that for you. See if we can figure out what's going on. Any other questions about what we talked about tonight? Anything that we can explain or look into more for you? Like I said, pay attention. I know sometimes it gets overwhelming because we get so many emails from so many different places. But the MMU always has the resources and tips that we talked about tonight, like the recordings of the writer's workshop or information about social and emotional learning, or the different schedules that might pertain to your scholar. So make sure you're taking a look at that MMU so that you can stay informed of what's going on. And if you are confused about something, don't hesitate to reach out. You can always reach out to me or your EF, and we'll do our best to support in whatever way we can. Well, if there are no more questions tonight, I'll hang around for a little bit if you have anything else that you want to ask me about. Otherwise, I appreciate everybody attending to learn more about the different resources that we offer here at Compass and the ways that we're partnering to support you in your homeschooling journey and to support your scholar with their educational needs. So feel free to hang around if you have more questions to ask. If you don't, thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate all the effort that you're putting into making sure your scholar has the best possible education. So thanks a lot, everybody.